This quote by painter, critic, and professor Gulammohammed Sheikh captures the essence of his practice, which explores several key dichotomies in art and culture, such as the relationship between history and memory, as well as the confluence of varied sensibilities in Indian art. Sheikh was born in 1937 and has primarily lived and worked in Baroda since he enrolled at the Faculty of Fine Art at MS University in 1955. In the 1960s, Sheikh studied at the Royal College of Art in London. Let's study a seminal painting he made upon his return to India and explore some of the unexpected juxtapositions and narrative building strategies that exist across his practice. Returning home after a long absence, reckons with his homecoming and tries to find a point of convergence between childhood memories and his profession as a painter. Looking at the background of the painting, we first notice the courtyard wall, a recurring theme in Sheikh's work that separates his past and present. He also adopts art historical references from European and Persianate traditions without hesitation, showing us that both visual cultures are a part of his world. For instance, the center of the work features an image of the Miraj, or the Prophet Muhammad's ascent to heaven, iconography often associated with Islamic art. We also see angular rows of houses that bear visual similarities to 14th century paintings from the Italian Renaissance center of Siena. Sheikh's own imagination comes to play in his depiction of angelic figures, wherein we see references from different cultures. Let's now turn to the foreground, which shows a central figure of a woman who's based on a photograph of Sheikh's mother. His decision to feature her in the painting is important because it connects the work to his own life and memory, a signal of his return home. Many artists quote and borrow imagery from art history, but what does it mean when such complex references are personal and when history is memory? In references to his work, Sheikh has explained that his paintings are not a result of a single moment, but instead an aggregation of phases that unfolds as he works. In this way, he introduces two different aspects of time: the presence of historical and other references in his works, and the time it takes to work through a painting itself, which is its own period. None of the elements we've looked at in Returning Home stand alone. Instead, they build a story. Sheikh's works often represent itineraries of images that can be read in different ways. This aspect of his practice has been inspired by looking at the murals at Kaavad in Rajasthan, wherein the physical movement of the viewer is essential in grasping the scale and structure of these paintings. He thought about these in relation to the way he built stories across his canvases. In one of his series of works exploring themes of migration and displacement, Sheikh appropriates a Kaavad, a portable shrine that contains multiple folding doors, each painted with scenes of Hindu mythology. In Rajasthan, Kaavadiya or Bhat priests commissioned artisans from the Kaavad caste to create these objects. Sheikh also presents the structure of the Kaavad in a much larger scale, depicting saints, folk characters, the Sufi mystic and weaver Kabir sitting together. By showing elements and figures that represent different times and spaces in the same frame, the works defy temporal, spatial, and cultural limitations. One of the panels we see here, in fact, also has a version of Returning Home. Having looked at how Sheikh builds complex narratives from historical and personal references in his paintings, we can now take some of the tools we've developed to understand broader relationships of 20th century Indian art to recent and distant pasts.